morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Today is day 26, I believe.
I have no idea.
I believe it is. I try to keep count that way. She is Acacia Clement. I'm Andy Serling. Another glorious day, a lot cooler than yesterday. Yesterday got hot, man.
Yesterday was rough.
Yeah,
it was warm, and then it rained for like 2 minutes, and then it stopped, and then
I noticed it the most on the walk home,
yeah.
and it's like that. It's close enough, but it
Yeah.
was hot, but it's still great to be in Saratoga. 10-race card today, fast and firm. We'll head over to Naira Bets, use the promo code SPA200. We'll match you with $200 of your initial deposit. Play any track anywhere through Naira Bets anytime. Friday contest, feeder contest, a $40 buy-in. You can feed into the $300 contest on Saturday. If you don't qualify, you can go into the $300 contest. All of those can only be played on Naira Bets. Head on over to nairabets.com/contest for much more information. 5 times rewards points as well, and exactas at Saratoga. Opt in for that at Naira Bets. Keep it rolling, Eddie. Cross Country Big 5, Eddie's favorite track, Horseshoe Indy. Races 6 and 7, 3 here. The Taste of New York, Thursday through Sunday. Been, the drill. Check it out. A lot of good stuff happening over there. Also, more importantly, it is Military Appreciation Day here in Saratoga, which involves free admission for active military and veterans, special ceremonies, military groups on track, demonstrations, and more. And of course, always important to thank everybody who serves in the military or has served, veterans,
Absolutely.
people as well who made the ultimate sacrifice for us and for our freedom in this country. So we're very happy. It's Military Appreciation Day here in Saratoga, and FS2, 1 to 6:30, covering all of the action. Race number 1, a mile and eighth. We've run a lot of mile and eighth dirt races to start the card.
We have.
Let's start off with the horse you have on top, Stone Cold Kelly.
This filly is, I think she's been dirtied up a little bit. I did not want any part of the morning line favorite in the 3 Danzit. I just was
Why not?
looking for an alternative. Well, I know that she was off of the layoff last time out, but I just didn't really like the way that she was traveling in that race. She was off awkwardly. She was kind of holding her tail straight out. I know that she ran on for a distant second, but I think yes, she got a good figure for it. I did not really love that race at all that she comes out of, and she certainly could win in this spot.
Of course.
I just thought that this was a race that was prime for some other intriguing prospect, and I know Stone Kelly has not gone this distance before, but she goes back to the dirt, and she has actually run some decent races early on and thought that she had a pedigree. If you go back, plenty of pedigree to suggest that she should be able to stretch out. Second dam is my flag, third dam personal ensign, so there's plenty of distance pedigree in there.
No, I get it. She was okay during the winter. I didn't particularly like her, but I can understand the argument for her. And I don't disagree with you on Danzit. I feel the same way. We both picked her third in here. But, you look at Reality Star, who finished just behind her in that race. She ran a 65 by her, then she ran a 71. And this race came back with a 59. It makes me wonder, and it was a wet track. But, her first race wasn't very good, a long layoff. Now she's out another 2 months. She can win. But and to be honest with you, I'm more interested in Todd's other horse, Rogba, who I just thought got an impossible trip from the outside post last time. Hung out wide the first turn, and while she's no superstar, I don't know that she's any worse necessarily than the 3, other than the 3's huge purchase price. And I think at a bigger price, I'd rather use her.
I think that's fair. My one big concern with her is that she used to be able to show a little bit of forward position early in her career. I know she was really kind of taken out of it last time, but prior to that, where's her speed been? And she's been leaving herself with a lot to do.
And speaking of speed, you've got speed in the outside for Safi Joseph. And I think it's interesting looking at Absolute Honor, who I don't like. You have second. Look at how much she improved when he stretched her out from 7 furlongs to a mile and an eighth. And that's my feeling with Bon Vivant. Bon Vivant, I looked at some stats with Safi Joseph. Stretch outs on the dirt and maiden races. He's 20 for 56, 36%, 237 ROI for a guy that runs a lot of short-priced horses. And here's his race 2 back when he lost by a nose. Non-first time starters, first time for a route. 32 for 94, 34%, 243. With maidens, 13 for 39, 33%, 252 ROI, 27 hitting the board. these stretch outs have really worked for him. And you look at a Union Rags, been going 6 and 7, and I thought, you know what? He might finally be getting, or she might, excuse me, getting a chance to do what she wants to do. And I'm going to take Bon Vivant in this race.
Yeah, I thought she
Saturday,
was
Joseph.
interesting. You saw in that race where she just got beaten and she was very green in there. And so putting the blinkers on. And then last time she did run on late to finish a distant second in there. But I like that the blinkers are coming off for the stretch out as well. I imagine she'll be forward, but get her to settle as she'll try to go the extra distance.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting race. You and I went in different directions, but I think both of us, not that Danzig can't win, but it just feels like at a short price, there are better horses to bet in this race. Race number 2. Race number 2, I'll show you Golden Symphony's last race, and Golden Symphony and Confabulation are 100% the horses to beat in here. I prefer of the two Confabulation. I didn't want anybody else in here, but you and I are going to both try to beat them with heavyweight champs. Go ahead.
Well, my thought is that doesn't it look like there are a fair amount of horses in here who prefer to run the races when being forward? I mean, Manny Franco urged Golden Symphony hard out of the gate last time out to try and get him to the lead, and his 2 recent wins have both been when he's been able to control with the presence of other horses who have a similar running style or have really been ridden in that same way recently. And maybe it's just more of by virtue of the fact that they're just not much horse and trying to put them into the race. I thought Heavyweight Champs was one who could potentially sit a trip. Now, he has shown some speed before, but at least he's dropping. I know from New York bred races, but at least he's been facing better company in his last few starts.
I agree. Now my problem is I'm hoping that he is the speed of the speed.
Okay.
I'm hoping Romero goes on ascend and tries to put him in front. In this race. I hear what you're saying, and maybe he won't, but you're right. At least he has the outside post if he can do it. I don't have a lot of confidence in him, to be honest with you.
No, I
it's
don't have
hard
confidence
to have
in
confidence.
anybody
The
in
barn's
here.
been having a bit of a cold run up here. He's not, but I totally agree with you. He's been facing better horses, and I just didn't want to take either the 1 or 4 in the 2 to 1 or less range in this race, and no argument against them. I don't have a problem with them, but listen, I'd like to see Tiz Marcus do well for Norm Cassie. Gabby's here this week, by the way, speaking of Norm.
Oh, good.
I know. I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's the best. But I don't know. Why am I going to take Tiz Marcus off that last race? I mean, come on.
He's tough. He's tough. I know that it says Bumpard at break, but he was actually in an okay position, albeit a bit wide. But
He
Ricardo
did get pushed wide
Santana,
the first turn.
He did, but Ricardo was riding him just to stay involved
I agree.
the whole race, and now he comes back as a gelding. So a little bit of a tricky read.
All right, we'll see what happens in race number 2. Race number 3, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. And we'll start with the horse that I have on top in here, and you have second, and that's our Starry Night. This is the first race sprinting. I thought this horse ran well. I want to see Eric be aggressive, put the horse in front. And listen, Phil Bauer has horses that run here. I don't even think this horse ran that badly last time, forcing the pace going longer.
And
now
he
gets
completely jumped up at the start last time, too.
Yeah, I just think I know she's 2 to 1, or he is 2 to 1 morning line, but I don't see any reason I'm supposed to take a big stand against him. I do think there are other players in here. You, on the other hand, are interested in the Bill Morey horse. I wish I could make a case. I'm ready to make a case for any Bill Morey horse. What do you like about this horse?
It was largely that the horse comes in for Bill Morey. This one is a full brother to Red Carpet Ready, multiple graded stakes winner, and
She's
clearly,
embarrassed by that.
She is, yes, that's fine. But this is a horse who I went back and watched the debut race again and was off slow, just never really looked comfortable in the running of that race, and then was sidelined for a while. So comes back 2 dirt races recently. In fact, finished second to Bob's Carrot, who we'll see in the next race. Who was able to win that day. And I mean, this pedigree is all turf. To me, watching even his last race, he moves more like a turf horse. And so I wanted to give him one more chance getting back on the grass for a barn that has been very dangerous with the horses they've brought
He's
here.
a very dangerous trainer. I don't disagree. And even more importantly, I believe Reagan Swinbank of Swinbank Stables, I think he's coming in tomorrow.
Okay.
I know he's making
Looking
an
forward to
appearance.
seeing Reagan.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing him as well. He's a lot of fun. Always fun to joke around with. We'll see. I look for Bill Morey anytime I can, but I don't know. I thought In the Dark. We'll take a look at the race at Monmouth last time. It was a first-time starter, came back. They won the race, ran 3 points better. I like the switch to Eddie Barker. I like to tease Eddie, but I'm an Eddie fan, and I thought this horse ran well first time out. Why can't he win here?
He certainly could. He was not the quickest out from the rail either. He was second best in there, but certainly a race that he could potentially move forward from. Was training down at Monmouth as recently as August 9th, and so coming in here. But Eddie, when he reaches out for Joel Rosario, I kind of joked with him when he had those 2 wins, both main track onlys, both with Joel Rosario. It's kind of the tell when he likes one when he reaches out for Joel.
Eddie likes them all. Let's
that's
not
fair. That's fair.
He's a good man and a good trainer, and I hope the horse runs well for him. And I think he's very dangerous. What do you do with Hellacious?
There is pedigree. For
there is
turf.
pedigree. There really is. It's really all turf. So I think it does feel like, listen, Todd ran the horse, got beaten ahead, but it was a 47 buyer, and I'm sure Todd's thinking, well, I can either run this horse for a tag, or I can try. I guess he could stretch out, or I can go to the turf, right? So I'm guessing Todd's thinking, not for love. There's plenty of pedigree. And so try it. I'm not going to dismiss that horse completely in here, especially with Irad.
It's actually a very interesting race.
I agree. And Quando's in here, and I know he's had a million chances, but he's only 0 for 5 on the turf, and he met some pretty good horses. He dueled with a Nate last time, and Nate came back and ran very well.
Back
he's boy, Spiced Up looks A-OK for Bill Mott. It's a nice horse. He really ran well. And I think that Governor Sam ran his race. I just think that Spiced Up beat him flat out.
Those are two very nice horses.
Nice performance by him. Nice performance by Bill's first-time star in the last race. An excellent ride by Junior. You know, once again, got completely shut off coming out of the gate. And Junior didn't panic. He just sat back and last, saved ground. He saved ground as long as he possibly could and angled out. He sweetly split horses and just got up. And the second horse, you know, I'm not sure who was best because the second horse did get a bit of a trip in that race, caught a little wide and stuff, but still ran very well.
Yeah.
That barn, the Mott barn, has been firing in all cylinders for quite a while. About 40 years, as a matter of fact. Race number 4, a big scratch. I was curious. I wanted to see the odds because as we switched to race 4, I thought David was a little bit. I didn't agree with his odds in this race. He had the 3 too big a price.
I was excited to pick against Tactical Track Star.
I thought he could have won. So what is your thing with Ranger Battalion?
Well, I wanted to give this one. Well, so this is like a field of 1-number horses, right? Even with Tactical Track Star in.
Yeah, that's fair.
At least with Ranger Battalion, I know that the last race was significantly faster, but he has won his last 2 for Bill Mott, and then off a little bit of a layoff, and last time for Linda Rice when first off the claim as well. Seemed to be traveling best every step of the way in there. That was a $100,000 claiming race. I know that this is an allowance, but you have plenty stepping up off maiden claiming wins, and I thought that he was actually in some ways a little bit of the class in here.
I get it. My problem is that this horse rode the rail almost the entire way before angling out the stretch, and it was a very gold rail that day. I mean,
he was in the right part of the track too, back as well.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried that he's a little bit dressed up. That I scratched him for second. I'm with you. I think he's very dangerous in here. But you're right. It's funny what you say about the 1 numbers. The 1 makes sense as a 1 number. No disrespect to Bruce, who I'm a fan of, and got a little bit of an unlucky trip in yesterday's stake. Kind of come up the inside with the 5 horse in that race, Boston's Finest.
Right.
But you're right. 1 number. Even Steve's horse, Bob's Carrot. Steve's having a terrific meet. Aerostar. At least Shifty Gold, and we'll go to Shifty Gold's race 2 back. At least Shifty Gold is sort of running those numbers consistently. He was in way too tough against Mr. Papa Giorgio last time out, and even Valentinian, who was in on Sunday's card. I was finishing that up this morning. And I just thought he had the right stalking trip. I don't know how big a price he's going to be. I thought he ran well to improve. Actually, this is him winning at Aqueduct. I apologize, in March 16th. And then he went to Monmouth, and now he cuts back to 1 turn. You know how much I like a turn back. And so I went to him on top. On the outside.
I agree. I was between those 2 horses for me. Even when Tactical Track Star was in, I thought that they were intriguing. A Shifty Gold on the cutback in distance. Like you said, he has been facing tough competition for the level recently, and he kind of, to me, like Ranger Battalion, at least has shown a little bit of consistency. I think your point about Ranger Battalion being dressed up is interesting, and certainly makes a ton of sense, but like I said, he was a bit of the now horse for me.
He could absolutely win this race. And by the way, speaking of Chad, it was announced today that Ways and Means, unfortunately, will miss the ballerina.
That's a shame.
Probably means to be a bigger field, because without her in there, I can imagine a lot more people would want to run. She spiked a fever, and she missed a workout and wasn't able to make it. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear it. She's one of our favorite horses, but
Yeah.
she'll be back to race another day, unfortunately. Race number 5, and we'll break after 5. I thought this was a very, very tough race.
It
and
is.
we'll start with the number 2, True Connection. I don't have a big problem with True Connection. This is the race 2 back. I think he's a very logical horse in here. You know, he ran the same number going 1.1 miles. He did breaking his maiden. I just didn't want to pick him on top. I'm not overly enamored with him.
I think that's fair. The way I ended up attacking this race, because I stared at it for a ridiculously long amount of time for a 17,000.
No, this was a very tricky race. The last race I made picks for, too.
Me too. I really struggled with this one. So what I ended up doing was deciding that I'd rather kind of lean on new faces in here, whether that's horses dropping in class, whether it's first off the claim, like the horse I went to, who I realized Dark Magic is totally untrustworthy completely. Oh no, not again with the bugs. This
Bugs
is
like
a horse.
Acacia a lot more with me. Go figure.
I told you, I need to keep my distance. But this is a horse that he's so good looking.
You need to keep your
Dark
distance
Magic.
from me for quite a few reasons.
I wasn't talking to you, but maybe I should be. Dark Magic, he's so good looking. He's a horse that I've always wanted to see him kind of take that step forward. And I'm sure it was in large part the significant drop in class last time. But I think now that he's in claim, he comes back in the logical next spot. Linda doesn't try to get cute with him. I think that he just makes sense. And this was the race where he was actually involved early a little bit more last time.
I think Linda was probably hoping he would lose last time.
Probably,
because
and be able
he
to
lost
come
so
back
much
for
value
claim.
when he won. He wasn't favored, though he probably
Yeah.
should have been. Linda's had a lot of success over the years claiming horses from Bill Mott, so listen, I'm not knocking any horse in this race. I mean, even I didn't use the horse at all, but I did want to show God of Guys last race because this horse broke a half length slow and made up a significant amount of ground. Now, maybe it was just that the race was kind of falling apart behind the winner, but he finished ahead of True Connection. Did True Connection do more work in the race? Yes, he did, and he's a more likely winner today. But this was going to be a big price, and he did run okay last time out.
He did. He was off slow. I mean, the winner, who's the king, ended up wiring the field, and nobody was coming to catch that one. And he was really the one that made up the most ground in there. It's just that he often leaves himself with a bit too much to do.
I agree.
God of Guy's a great name, though. I love that.
I have two horses I want to use. One is Still a Soldier because he's just a new face for
I agree.
Phil Antonacci, who's been very live, going turf to dirt. And,
He
I
ran
know it was
against so
Finger
much
Lakes,
tougher, too
but
bad.
he's run some faster races that give him a chance in here. So it'll be David's got him 3-1. And Dark Vector coming off the layoff. I actually asked Jordan Wyckoff about this horse because I was interested, and he said the horse has been ready to run for a while, just weren't able to get him into a race, but comes off. And I know they're dropping off the layoff and not using the waiver, but this horse has got plenty of races good enough to win, and
I
I
agree.
was just kind of hoping that IRAD would put him in front and try to wire the field.
I totally agree.
Simple as that.
He's got class for sure.
All right, that's race 5. We'll take a break, and Keisha and I will be back with the late pick 5.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Keisha Clement and Andy Serling. You can probably scratch Schwarzenegger out of the Skidmore on Saturday. I think Wesley entered there in case it rained today because he's been a little snake bit with this horse, getting rained off a couple of times. And I know that there's been a lot of talk that he's a real runner, but Wesley Ward's numbers with 2-year-old first-time starters and turf sprints are not that good overall. He's 0 for 13 and 0 for 14 now at Saratoga after yesterday. On the other hand, if this horse is a real runner for Wesley, he's probably going to be tough, but you and I have taken small shots against.
Yeah, I mean, he's a $950,000 son of Not This Time, who sold at the select sale last year across the street. Wesley mentioned him when I interviewed him maybe like a month ago about the horse he was most excited to run, and he just hasn't been able to run. He's been scratched off turf twice, and he was a vet scratch going into the day once as well. So, and I did see in the DRF that if it stayed on the turf today, he'd run here.
Right.
If not, they'd
and
go
run
to
the
the
other
Skidmore.
one. He's got another one in the
Exactly.
Skidmore.
So that makes perfect sense. I mean, watching his workouts, he's just been flying around on the turf, and he looks like he really could be the goods. But I heard you say that stat yesterday, and I thought it was interesting. And this actually has a look of a race that I thought was very intriguing.
I agree
Yeah.
with you. I mean, I think a lot. Listen, on the rail, Donegal now is a Liam's map, and to ignore how well Todd's 2-year-olds
I
have been
know.
running, it doesn't mean they all can run. I put Belgium on top. I want to show the 2-year-old sales work, and I'm always interested in European these things. I thought this was an extremely good workout by him. He's half the two or three turf winners. I mean, they're not really that much better on the turf. They're really decent horses in general. I thought this horse really ran.
He did. The one thing is he never switched leads in the work, and I know that, we talk about it as it's not the end-all, be-all. But when you see them in those 2-year-old sales breezes, they're prepped to do exactly that. And so you like to see them do that. But it was 10 flat, and he did it easily as well. And I have loved the Beau Liams. I know my husband has a couple that they've just
He was a
have been
very good horse.
really good
Unfortunately, had a
horse.
shortened career.
A son of Liam's map as well. He's 5 for 32 with his progeny so far. No winners sprinting on the turf, but has had several that have actually won on the synthetic as well for Beau Liam. So I've been really impressed by the stallion too. So I thought this horse was a major player as well.
Talk about Throckmorton.
This one by Caracaro, who has had a couple of turf sprint winners as a sire. This one I remember vividly from the 2-year-old sale because I just was wowed by how fast he was. There is no pedigree on the bottom side really to speak of, but he went 20-3 and just so quick and so powerful. And that was also a workout. We talk about these OBS works, and I remember actually Chad Brown saying this a couple of years ago, that sometimes these horses that work so well at OBS on a synthetic track, it doesn't always translate to the dirt. And sometimes if maybe there even isn't an abundance of turf pedigree, they do end up kind of handling the turf. And so I thought that this horse was a bit intriguing switching onto the grass in here. Was a little bit slow from the rail first time out as well, and I think his speed is his best weapon. Should be quicker second out.
Listen, these are total unknowns. I always liked Caracaro. I cannot believe he lost that Jim Dandy during the pandemic. He lost to the Paul Pompa horse, who ended up winning the World Cup and all those races. What's Country Grammar?
Country Grammar.
I
That's
actually
right.
watched the race with Chad, and Country Grammar was able to beat him. And Chad turned to me and said, I told him I bet Caracaro, and he said, boy, was I lucky to beat that horse. He was
Caracaro was a beautiful
fortunately got hurt
horse.
after the Travers, right? I don't think he made the Derby. Javier
He
rode
finished
him.
second in the
Travers.
Travers. He
He
did
got
not run
hurt.
in the Derby.
He was a good horse. I was sorry he didn't stick
good.
around. Talk about some others in here. Augustinian. Let's take a look at his race down at Gulfstreams. Thank you, Eddie. I'm sorry I went out of order with him.
Don't
he
you
can
feel like
win.
he
He's
should
got.
have won this
That's
day?
exactly the way I feel.
Yeah.
It's exactly how I feel. He should have won this day.
That it felt like he was the favorite that day. They waited. He's a Florida bred, running June at Gulfstream. I'm sure he was cranked up to win that afternoon. He hit the front and then just got run down late.
You're not supposed to lose in
You're
even money
not
in these
supposed
races
to
when you
lose
clear out for Mark. I
Cassie.
agree.
Yes, that's the only thing. And I mean, look, he certainly has the experience and has a good turf race. It just felt like that was the day.
A lot of pedigree for Graham Motion's green screen, and I always think Graham is dangerous. They don't win a lot, but his horses seem to be very live in here, and I love the Oscar
Me
performances.
too. I'm a huge fan of the stallion. The dam was a 5-time winner on turf. She was a stakes winner. There's plenty of pedigree as you go back through the generations. Manny Franco up for Graham, as they've obviously had plenty of success together as well.
Yeah, no, I think he's interesting as well. We'll see what happens, but maybe Schwarzenegger is the goods. Race number 7 obviously changed a great deal with Friend of the Devil scratching. Sorry to Jerry Zarro and Mark Holliday as well, and Carlos for missing out on this race. I believe I read he said he was sick, Carlos.
He said he wasn't in his feed tub as usual,
Okay.
not 100%, and so
Sorry
it's a
he's not
shame.
playing. We both like George Briggs. We'll show the Colonel Liam last time out because I do want to show you this horse really check 3/16. Those things can go either way. He gets in real trouble in the stretch.
This was
in
also
race.
the exact opposite of a trip that you want on that turf at
Yep.
Gulfstream. And Mibago wired the field. He was on a roll during that winter down at Gulfstream.
Brant
I
Silks
thought,
in the 2-path.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Keisha.
thought he was incredibly
Totally
totally
eliminated right
wiped
there.
out. I thought he was incredibly unlucky in that race
I
too.
agree.
Yeah.
And I just think he may be better than these. Now, to be fair, you lose some value. I mean, he was going to be a shortish price anyway. Now he's going to be very short. He's coming off a layoff. I will tell you that Chad is very bullish on him. I told him, I texted him and said, I'm picking George Briggs. Do you think I'm nuts? And he said, no, I think he'll run very well in here. And I guess you do have to, though, evaluate the race from a pace standpoint. The pace projector has Butter is the speed, and I love Butter, but man, he's not exactly a turf pedigree horse.
No, he's not. Dan never try it. No siblings won on it. He did work on the turf, so I guess he's shown enough. And he's a New York bred and New York stallion sired, and we love the pedigree. Have to chowder and lobster.
And I will tell you something, Eddie F's. If you don't know Eddie F's, Eddie F Stable, the old Pink store over on the west side, and they have a stand here as well. Their lobster bisque here,
so good,
unbelievably
so good. Yeah,
really, really good.
I know.
It's not so hot today. I may have to go over and have a bowl. After this,
good,
I've had it a few times. It's excellent.
Yeah, really
I think that Coach Case will run better in here. I know he was disappointing last time out. It had rained a little bit, and he made a bit of a move in there. And I think Coach Case is going to be forward in this race, and maybe even sort of set up shop right behind Butter and maybe get that good position. I think he's going to run better today.
And it's interesting, I think so too. As you mentioned, it rained. They were in the paddock when it rained, and it wasn't even so much. He is a big, heavy horse. He's just, that's the way that he's built. And Mo Trump went out to the lead and
he ran.
Very
I mean, he ran huge. He didn't run
did.
well the other day, but he ran well in that
also, there
race.
was a delay because of that.
Right.
And Coach Case seemed to be the one that kind of got a little undone by that. He was kind of being a bit vocal in the paddock that day with the delay. So I think that might have hurt him as well.
A River of Time is fine. I mean, I don't think he's impossible. I think he shouldn't have a huge problem stretching.
Back out.
I wonder if he's better, though, going shorter. I'm due switching to Rob Atras. Nothing against against Sweezy, but Ken Sweezy, but he's got races to put him in the mix, and I think the distance is fine. I know he was terrible last time, but I don't want to completely dismiss him.
I had liked him a bit last time, so maybe I feel a bit jaded today because he just did no running.
No, he was terrible.
But I thought that he was built just much more like a horse that wanted to go longer, and he actually ran okay against Open Stakes Company down at Florida. So I do think there could be a chance that maybe he'll turn around.
See what happens in the New York Stallion Series, race number 7. Race number 8, I like this race. Somebody asked me about a 20 claimer. I'll be honest with you, I think it's a really fun race here. Talk about preposition.
Yes, this one cutting back in distance and dropping in class. Second start of his career, I thought was one of his best races when he was sprinting. Since then, he's been running against tougher and going a bit longer, hoping it's just a combination of all of the things together, going back to what I think he wants to do.
Okay. I've got him third. I don't disagree. You do not like my horse Nance at all. You may be right. I like Nance in this race. I'm going to dismiss the race in the slop last time. This horse was very wide. Again, it's a very good rail, 2 races back in a field that would drown this field. And I think if he can run back to his race on a dry track 2 back, I believe he's going to be very tough. And I never might have switched to Santana. But, of course, Irad and Kendrick would ride. Kendrick, by the way, Kendrick is riding extremely well, and I don't think it's getting noticed as much as it should because he's not, because of how well the Ortizes are doing, and it's understandable. And, he's been super aggressive in spots. I mean, I know he wasn't winning with Pineapple Man, but he did everything he could to help win. I know there was some talk about the non-disqualification yesterday. I thought Kendrick rode that close to the line, but I thought it was absolutely fair what he did in there, and I get it was frustrating for the other connections, but I didn't think he went over the line. I just think he's doing. He's been aggressive when he needs to be, and I really like the way he's been riding.
And I think it's, he kind of gets, I think sometimes unfairly, just that he's a, speed on the dirt type of rider.
That's just nonsense.
He's run some of his biggest races this summer with Laurelin and Deterministic and Graded Stakes races long on the turf. Which I think was really
this
impressive
notion,
as well.
I mean, that he's a one-trick pony is absolutely ridiculous, and frankly, it's kind of insulting. Because he's not, I mean, he's good on the front end, but, a lot of riders are good in the front end. But I really have been impressed. I mean, a lot of guys are riding really well. And I also think, you see certain guys riding, and you can really see that they realize, if I come to Saratoga, I don't elevate my game, I'm going to get absolutely crushed up here. And a lot of guys have, most guys have. And listen, sometimes it's just a little bit of luck, too, and good luck, bad luck. I also think Tomorrow's Wish is very dangerous because, just dismiss the 2 turf races, right? And go back. It's first time for a tag on the dirt. This horse was running against significantly better horses in those dirt races, not running that badly for Dave.
I totally agree. It's funny. I always thought that he looked like a turf horse, and clearly I guess Dave did too, but he he just cannot run on the
No.
turf. So they tried it. It's back to the dirt.
Wasn't he was he your long shot in that race two back?
He was.
He was.
Yeah,
I remember. Now that you say that, I
He
remember.
was.
You made a case
I
for
was
him.
so excited to see him
Right.
getting onto the grass. They tried
call.
short. They tried long. Yeah, clearly Dave thought so too. So we're good company. It didn't work out. It's back to basics. I mean, this is a significant drop versus what he was facing on the dirt.
You took the Tom Amos claim, levitating second in here. Tom has very good numbers with maiden claimers off the claim on the dirt.
Yep.
The problem is, I don't know. Usually they're against easier horses. I had mixed feelings.
That's fair.
in
I
this
feel
one.
like this might actually be one of the tougher maiden claiming for this level that
Oh,
we've seen.
I
You know,
agree.
we've
Highly
seen some that
competitive.
there's not really much to sink your teeth into, and I feel like there is actually something here. I just thought that he was a horse that has been relatively consistent at the right level. I thought the 9 Rock Concert was a wild card, and yes,
It's a
it
firster.
is never a good sign to see them debut with a big pedigree for 20,000. But you have seen with Gary and Mary West colors horses that just aren't really cutting it.
It's a
They'll be
homebred. What are they gonna
aggressive,
do with a
move
horse?
on with them,
Right.
and that's it. So I did see Brad's numbers. First time starters in the dirt maiden claiming 3-year-olds and up. 6 for 42. 14%, 36% in the money, and $1.25 ROI. So they don't always produce.
See what happens in race number 8. I thought it was a very good one. Race number 9. So for me in race number 9, I did the same thing as you. I don't want to enlighten. Let's take a look at
No.
the last race. We'll also show Final Denial. I think if you're going to take somebody out of this race, you're supposed to take Final Denial.
I agree.
I thought ran significantly better. This horse just got a great ride from Irad, stayed on the rail the whole way, got through, race was collapsing. Final Denial was 3 wide in the first turn, 3 wide in the second turn, and I think of the two horses ran way better. And now you've got a horse claimed away from Todd, and not a knock on Tom, but man, Todd's a tough guy to claim from.
He is. He certainly is. And especially when maybe dropping horses or kind of dangling them for the tag. And Tom has done very, very well claiming horses, particularly on the turf. I just thought the way that race played out, there were some others that
He
I
should
would
have won.
prefer.
He should
I
have won
agree.
that
I
race, and not
agree.
just by a head.
I
He should have
prefer
won.
Gem Mint 10 and Final Denial out of there.
Well, let's talk about Gem Mint. My feeling with Gem Mint 10 is Romero, just go.
He's supposed
Just
to
go.
go.
He can't win without the lead. If he goes
Yes.
too fast,
Yeah.
then he wasn't going to win rating him. So
Yeah.
just go, and if it's too fast and he collapses, so be it.
Yeah.
But he's a price in here, and I think Steadfast Resolve. I'm going to go back and show the race from November, where he won November 2nd. He is a deep closing turf horse, but he is better shorter.
He
I don't
is.
love him, but
I
he's
know.
a better horse going shorter.
He is. He's been going longer. He ran against Navy SEAL and just very good horses last time out, going 1 mile and 3/8. I also thought that he was a horse that kind of needed to strengthen up a little bit off a bit of a freshening. And so I think it's encouraging he comes back relatively quickly off the back of that effort last time out.
Yeah, I like the cutback in distance
Me
for
too.
him to 9 furlongs. I just think it may suit him better, and obviously the competition. And listen, there could be a bit of a pace. My horse could go and make the pace a lot faster. And here, heads or wrist takes my Joe Sharp off the claim with turf routes. He's 3 for 36, $1.18. I was shocked
Yeah.
by that.
Ow.
He's such a good trainer and such
I
good
know.
numbers.
Feels like he has good stats with just about everything else.
And Dylan gave that horse just a superb ride last
he
time out.
really did.
So race number 10, there was a big scratch in here.
Yep.
Do we know a story on why Nagil scratched?
This was unfortunately sick as well.
Yeah. All right. I agree with you. Deemer's the horse to beat.
Yep, just the drop in class with Deemer. Inexperienced wired the field last time out.
Little wide.
This one was wide. Got a little bit keen off of a layoff as well. I just thought that he was logical. As far as Mitzi Fogg, this horse was a late scratch on the 7th the other day, but it wasn't anything serious, unfortunately,
What
because
happened? Because I was on my way home and I watched race some and didn't realize.
she
'cause I liked her
unfortunately
last time.
kind of got her legs tangled with the pony out of the post parade, and she fell.
Oh.
And as a result, if they fall, it's an immediate vet scratch. But she was not unsound, so unfortunately, it is listed as regulatory vet unsound. But it was just because Joel Rosario came back and he was like, she just fell. It was an unfortunate situation that had happened there.
Yeah, I picked the horse last time. She is a filly going against the
Yep.
Colts. In here, I don't care about that stuff. I want to show the first race because as the winner, Hangover Heaven, was going around. Now, you're going to see her. She's around 3 wide. She's the number 8 horse in this race. Now, the eventual winner is going, those dub silks is going around her. And she's going to get badly turned around. It was no fault of the dub. It was just sort of getting, she's the one to push the dub horse out. But watch what's happened there. She kind of gets completely blind switched and turned around. And she's still continuing to rally a little bit. I like the fact that Sandy Goldfarb and Rob Falcone claimed this horse. Both of them are very, very sharp. And Irad's obviously picking up. You know.
It's Christopher Elliott, actually.
It's. Oh, Christopher's riding today, not Irad?
That was what the late scratches
Oh,
said.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm fine with Christopher.
Yep.
Speaking of which, his agent, Jose Santos, will be on the show with us a little bit later today.
Yeah.
I got to pick her one more time. I got to give her
I agree.
a chance. But I'm not
and
against the 10.
Before that
by
late
any
scratch on the track, I thought that she really had moved forward physically from the first race.
Thought she was interesting. This might be a bit tougher, but other than Deemer, I thought Nagil was the other horse in this race, and with her out, we'll see what happens in race 10. Anything else going on? Who do you like in the Alabama?
Ooh, I haven't decided yet. It's hard because I actually did a backstretch heroes, and I went by Brad Cox's barn this morning, and I interviewed Miguel the groom of Good Cheer. And so now, like, my heart is rooting for Good Cheer because you get to know the people behind
Those
the
are great,
scenes,
by the way.
and
If you haven't seen those, the
thank you.
backstretch years, I love those.
I really
think
love
they're
getting
really
a chance
awesome.
to kind of meet the team behind the horse. I was leaning towards Lacara and her speed, but I don't know. I usually wait until how they look on track beforehand.
Okay.
But leaning towards that.
You're not doing talking horses, so you haven't had to look at as much as I have.
No, I haven't.
All right, Keisha, thanks as always. Thank you for watching. On Military Appreciation Day here in Saratoga, head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code SPA200. We'll match up to $200 of your initial deposit. What else do we have? We have the $40 feeder contest. That will be coming up tomorrow. You'll have to post time tomorrow. It's for the $300 contest Saturday. If you qualify, you get in the $300 contest. If you don't, you can still play the contest. You play it only through Naira Bets. Head on over to nairabets.com/contests. We have 5 times rewards points. Opt in at Naira Bets if you get the points.
And I think that's idiomatic.
Feels about right.
It was bugging me.
She will not be running the personal incident. She is retired.
Yeah. Yes. You all know I like to guess what horse it is on
Feels
the
about
right.
slate.
What else? It says FG, Florent Giroux on the cap. So that's right.
Keep them going, Eddie. Cross Country Big 5 at Highlight of Eddie's Day, 2 at Horseshoe, 3 here. We have the Taste of New York near Gate A in the Family Zone. Check out all the good stuff being made in the state of New York. And as we mentioned, Military Appreciation Day. I always want to say a big thank you to all our in the military and all the veterans as well. Free admission for active military and veterans, special ceremonies, etc. Always a fun day here in Saratoga. But then again, every day in Saratoga is a fun day. But we enjoy Military Appreciation Day and all the things that people do for this great country. And last but not least, 1 to 6:30 today on FS2. All the action. Thanks again, Acacia.
That's fun as always.
Was fun. Today's going to even be more fun. Frank Miramati is going to be having fun calling the races. He's going to be coming up, and I'm going to let you know early. You don't want to miss the anthem tomorrow.
Ooh.
Tomorrow's anthem. You know what tomorrow's anthem is? Tomorrow's anthem. By the way, John Cacamise told me tomorrow is the.
John Cacamise is doing the anthem?
No, he's not doing the anthem, though I'd love that. The anniversary of Woodstock. And that's not why we're doing it, but coincidentally, John Getzler, our sound man, will be doing the anthem. We'll be playing. We'll be playing. He's done it before.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and I've been excited for him to come back, and he's going to be doing the anthem for us tomorrow.
That's awesome.
On his guitar.
That's awesome.
It's going to be great. Don't want to miss that anthem.
Very
That'll be
exciting.
tomorrow. Anyway, have a great day. That's it. That's all I got. Enjoy.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.